Meikyuu sometimes does not have his priorities straight. When you introduce this concept that, gonna have a house. We bought a house, it's all to ourselves, absolute privacy. What better way to celebrate it? First thing you do, the moment that you sign that contract, Meikyuu knows. Meikyuu immediately says, first things first, we gotta go to the Labyrinth because I gotta try out my wand. Not that wand, damn it. You have a new place all to yourself, and the first thing you want to do to celebrate is go to the Labyrinth. Man, he had ultimate privacy over here, and you gotta wait till you get furniture. Anyways, yes, pretty decent episode 8 of Harem and Labyrinth in Another World. I will say that I'm sadly getting a little tired of Roxanne at this point. Not that I don't like Roxanne, but being that this show is Isekai Harem and Labyrinth in Another World, where is the other characters? Where is the harem of this show? We're 8 episodes in of probably 12, maybe 13 episodes, and we literally only have one character. This is not a harem. This is not a harem. But we did get quite a bit of action in this episode. There was, 3 scenes total? One got cut short, unfortunately, but still, a lot of action in this episode. And I was really expecting with the final scene in this one to get a little bit more crazy, because obviously the issue that Meikyuu has had for quite a while now is that he's been basically making love to Roxanne at an inn. And so there is a little bit of an issue there with noise. It's just, I would probably assume you're going to have pretty decently thin walls, and it's a Japanese story, so typically Japanese are pretty used to the idea of having thin walls in inns, apartments. So the assumption there is that finally when he got his new house and then he's got ultimate privacy, that they were going to get crazy. But I guess you can probably argue is the fact they didn't have candles, nothing to see where they're doing. But no, I go back. I really do hope that we start to see new characters, because not so much that I need to have new persons for Meikyuu to bed. It's more the fact that I think at this point I need the chemistry. The show needs new chemistry injected into it. We're now 8 episodes in. And I'm still finding a lot of enjoyment out of the more risque stuff that it's doing. Some of the mechanics that they're doing is interesting, but the chemistry in the show has dropped off. Roxanne's fine, Michio's fine, but the chemistry's just not there to keep the show going. And so when we deal with this episode where we're spending a lot of time talking about walls that prevent you from doing field walk, which doesn't even affect Meikyuu in any way, shape, or form, when you're doing all this, a lot of talk about things that don't really necessarily matter in the end, that's where I'm getting a little fatigued in the show itself. I know that a lot of people have already criticized this show for not having enough substance, and I've been trying to find stuff in there that I'm still enjoying. But I'm starting to get in an agreement with people that this needs something. This needs chemistry. This needs something injected into it to keep it going, because right now we're just buying stuff and hanging out. That said, it was a fun episode. I think and again, to the credit of the whole idea of chemistry, I think the shop lady was a fun little thing to add to the mix. Having her talk to them about, how many people do you need in this house? Well, it's just 2 of us for right now, but we're going to expand. Oh, you are? Yeah, I see, Roxanne. She's a good girl. She should go to Labyrinth, right? The missed messages there was kind of weird, because it almost kind of insinuated this lady knew that he wanted to have children with Roxanne, but then immediately the conversation shifts to, oh, so you want to be close to the Labyrinth, because obviously she's really good for labyrinths. But it goes in this whole goofy thing of them looking for a house and Roxanne trying to help by haggling, saying, the lawn's kind of bad in this area, trying to criticize things about this house to get the price down, but all it really does get them in the end is like some extra free seeds. But the interesting thing that came from the discussion about the house, besides the whole stupid shielded cement thing that was supposed to stop field walking, but it obviously doesn't affect Meikyuu because Meikyuu is overpowered, was that at some point it went out of its way to talk about the fact that the people that previously owned the house or was renting out the house built another toilet. Now, again, this seems like an odd thing here, but to go out of its way to explain that over here this room has its own toilet kind of insinuates to me that whoever was renting out this place previously had people similar to Roxanne, possibly people that were forced servitude as well, which I don't think is going to really matter to Meikyuu at this moment, but it does make me believe that possibly, this is my prediction, is the reason why they're bringing this up is that eventually Meikyuu is possibly going to buy some girl. He's going to bring them to that place, and they're going to remember an experience that they had in that particular house. Oh, yes, I was always stuck in that one room. That's the room they always kept me in. And I think that's probably what they're doing, because again, I don't know why they would go out of their way to explain that there is another room that has a toilet. I mean, yes, it could be a prison cell, but my mindset's more going to the idea that that's probably where they kept their workers or their owned workers or whatever. But yeah, after they get in the house, like I said, it was so funny because he's like, oh, we need to go back to the Veil. I would be saying that, but I got to go to the Labyrinth so I could test out my staff, which apparently is better. But then we have this segment where Roxanne is cleaning the house while he goes off to the Kuratar Labyrinth, which I found interesting because when he arrives there, it seems like everybody's out there trying to sell something, sell maps. It's a lot about money and a lot of people there. And the funny thing that I thought of immediately is that after he pays and he goes into here, this is the first time he's gone into a labyrinth where like the lobby area is packed with people. This isn't like the previous labyrinth where he could just teleport in whenever he wants and there was like nobody there. So I'm like, he's thinking, man, I gotta find a place so I can teleport out. But my mind's thinking, how are you gonna teleport in? Like this other labyrinth, like I said, you were always teleporting into an empty entranceway. Here, there's like 30 people there. I'm not sure if it's always there's a bunch of people there, but it might turn to one of those things that where either one, he has to choose to only do it at night or something like that when nobody's around. Or on the other hand, will there be a possibility that he teleports in and gets caught? And is there any laws against that? Is there laws against teleporting into this place? That's going to be the big question mark. I was kind of hoping that he would run into some monsters in there just so we get an idea of, are they more powerful monsters in there? Is there better loot in there? What's the reason why there's so many people at this labyrinth? Why is, because I think they said the town was built around the labyrinth. So there's got to be a reason why it's a profitable place. Obviously, his other concern is like, how do you farm monsters in here? There's so many people here. Anyway, my criticisms aside, it was a fun episode. Plenty of fun Roxanne scenes. I like the one where they actually got started messing around with their tail, and suddenly the guys show up to bring the furniture, so got interrupted. But it was cute. As usual, I think the cool little thing is, I do appreciate the fact that every now and then they'll show that Roxanne's tail's wagging, so it kind of gives that sense of her subconsciously, she's happy with where she's at. So it's kind of a way of reconfirming to us that she's not in a bad position, that she does enjoy her time with Meikyuu. She is happy to be with him, even if the setup wasn't all that mutual. Technically, she was okay with him from the beginning. And it was cute to have this whole last night at the end. Technically raunchy memories, but technically good memories for himself, his first time, and all these experiences with Roxanne. So we'll see. Hopefully episode 9, I'm really hoping new character introduction. I just, please give me something more. Despite my getting a little bit tired of the Roxanne scenes, I will say that did like seeing a little bit of a different side to her in this episode, the jealousy side of her. Having this lady that runs a shop getting a little bit close to Meikyuu and trying to push him to buying something, and then Roxanne's over there like, I guess we can get discount on this, can't we? Which again, technically was already apparently a part of his skill, so it's not like they got the discount, but it was still kind of cute to see Roxanne's more jealous side. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. As always, if you did, make sure to hit that like button down below. Comment, let me know what you thought of the episode. Are you getting fatigued with Roxanne? Do you really want something new? Do you want them to actually get into the harem aspect of the Harem Labyrinth? Additionally, if you've not already, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you get all my content. I do news, reviews, first impressions. If it's anime, it's pretty much here. Additionally, if you want to support the channel more, we have a Patreon link, a tips link, and a super thanks button down below. Greatly appreciate everybody that does, and y'all take care.